recommendations for the upcoming Beautylish gift card event and also my Tanseido recommendations, because Tanseido recently announced that there will be a price increase coming up on April 1st. So if you aren't already familiar, Tanseido is a Japanese handmade brush maker brand. And we also call those brushes fude. And so I will be trying to use mostly Tanseido brushes to do my makeup today. And also just talking about a couple of other brushes that I recommend that you can pick up from the Beautylish website. And Beautylish is kind of like a Sephora, but it's cool because Beautylish carries a lot of brands that Sephora doesn't carry. So for instance, you can find all your Sonia G brushes on Beautylish. I'm a diehard Sonia G fan, and I have pretty much every single Sonia G brush she's ever made. So I highly recommend those. Beautylish also has their own line of fude brushes, which are great, and they're called the Yano series. So I brought this one out for today, which is the brush that I like using for bronzer. And all of the brushes really in the Yano series are great, so I highly recommend those as well. But otherwise, let's just get started and start chatting about the recommendations from Beautylish if y'all are interested in shopping the gift card event. So we can chat a little bit more about the gift card event. Beautylish doesn't really run any sales, but twice a year they have their gift card event. And right now I'm just putting on a little bit of sunblock. I've been loving this SkinCeuticals sunblock. It's SPF 50 and it is a physical and mineral SPF. So I like that it has a little bit of a tint to it as well. But yeah, here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. And then I planned on trying to use makeup brands that aren't sold on Sephora, but are sold on Beautylish. And those are the products that I try to grab during the Beautylish gift card event, because that's really the closest thing to a sale that Beautylish gets to, because you can get $20 in store credit for every $100 that you spend. So in a way, if you spend $100 or more, you're getting 20% off. So yeah. So we are getting ready for church. I am from the United States. Thank you everybody for being here and for joining me today. I'm curious to know where you all are from. But feel free to hit the like button on this live if you haven't done so already. I would really appreciate it. It'll help my content get out. I'm trying to grow my channel. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well. I would really appreciate that. Hey Stacy, how are you? Good to see you. So I just put on a little bit of sunblock so far. I'm about to do my eyebrows, and I was saying that I'm gonna try to use products that you can find on Beautylish because of the Beautylish gift card event. So looking for my Hourglass, because Hourglass is also sold on Beautylish, and I have their brow pencil. I'm just for some reason not finding it right now. But Anastasia Beverly Hills is also sold on Beautylish, and I do also enjoy the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow products. So just because I have this one handy, I'm just gonna do a quick brow. Hey Sylvia, how are you? It's good to see you. Hey Keisha, how is everyone? I would love to know if anybody else is going to be shopping the Beautylish gift card event. Also on today's agenda, I'm planning on doing a green eyeshadow look because it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. So, hey Kat, how are you? So basically, I was gonna try to see if I could do a poll real quick, but I don't really know how to do a poll. So, Kat, do you know how I can do a poll to see what eyeshadow palette y'all want to see me use today, since we're gonna do a green eyeshadow look, but I'm just doing a quick brow. You don't have any intention of buying anything from Beautylish, Keisha? I don't really need anything, so I shouldn't be buying anything from Beautylish. Thank you for sharing. The only thing I was saying I was considering, but I don't really need, was potentially a backup of my Natasha Denona contour powder that I love that is not sold on Sephora. It's a mobile, I'm just using my phone. It's an option under comments. I'm not seeing it. Let me see. Start a poll. Here we go. Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna ask y'all. Okay, so I have Pat McGrath. Then I also have Natasha Denona. I have a Dior palette, and I'll show y'all right now too before you vote. A Dior palette, and then I have Tom Ford. So these are my green eyeshadow palettes. Okay, hopefully y'all see all those options that I just named right now. And before you vote, I'll show you which ones, okay? So for the Pat McGrath option that we have here, and I'm gonna try to keep it moving so I don't keep you all here much over an hour. Let's see if I can keep this under an hour. I'm gonna try really hard. Okay, so y'all are already voting. I said hold on. Okay, so this is Pat McGrath, and in particular, I'm eyeing this green color here. Okay. Then the other option is Natasha Denona, and I brought out the Yucca palette. Use some fun greens in there. Okay, so before you vote on the poll, just wait to see. Then for Dior, I brought out the Jungle palette. I don't know if this is still available, but do y'all remember this one? Look at how beautiful those green tones are right there. I don't use that palette enough. And then for Tom Ford, of course, the Velours Khaki. So those are the options. Y'all are starting to comment. There's a poll, so please vote. Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, Dior, Tom Ford. How are you, Kieran? How was the birthday party you went to yesterday? There's nothing on your radar. That's good. Save yourself the coin. Keisha, are you feeling okay? I know we're not used to hearing that there's nothing on your mind. That's funny. Yeah, I would love to see if y'all are shopping the sale. Ooh, you just got the Tom Ford Peach Glamour palette. You love Tom Ford, Stacey? So do I. I did a full face of Tom Ford, a short, and I used the Velours Khaki palette in that. So if I could understand if y'all aren't interested in seeing me pull that one out again, since I just used it not too long ago. Oh, Sylvia said she voted for Pat McGrath. Stacy said the Yucca palette is nice. I agree. It's a beautiful color story. You loved your makeup look? Oh my gosh, Kieran. Yeah, I saw you posted it on Insta. I loved it too. I loved that nude lip on you. Gorgeous. I'm a nude lip lover too. You voted for Yucca, says Kieran. Yeah, let me know what y'all voted on. This is the first time I'm testing out a poll, so I don't even know if like I'm able to see who voted for what. So I'm glad you all are putting it in the chat because I'm not seeing it right now. Y'all are gonna make this hard for me to choose because y'all are, it seems like everybody's all over the map right now, but we still have time. I've done a lot of shopping lately, says Keisha. The Bobo Baby Owl Brush is releasing on Friday, and tickets for several concerts you plan on attending go on sale Thursday. Interesting. Which concerts are you planning on going to? That's right. The Owl is gonna be releasing from the Fude Bobo website. I do have an affiliate link with Fude Bobo, so I do appreciate it if you shop through my links. I will add them to the description box in this video real soon. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll also link my LTK where you can shop everything on Beautylish that I'm using today or that I mention and recommend for y'all. I would really appreciate it. It helps my channel out if you go through my links. So yeah. Oh yeah, I think I was messing around to see like what the mod thing was. I didn't know if it was like permanent or by the video, but let me see if I could just, if you want me to redo it. Yeah, I'll do it again, Kat. Give me a second. Okay. Add as a moderator. There you go. Cool. All right, there you go, Kat. Thank you. Yeah, because there's another person in here that I added as a moderator, but if they're not paying attention or something like that, you could be all over it. Ooh, also for fun, I brought out this Sachu lip liner stain, and I brought this out because it's also being sold on Beautylish, and they have a few different colors, but the color I have is mauve, so I figured I could do like a lip liner moment with it. While we're doing the rest of our makeup. To be honest, I kind of regret not getting the other shade called, what is it called? I forget. There's like a lighter shade that I was like, oh dang, I should have gotten that one. But that's all right. I also like the Wonder Skin lip stains too though. So they're similar. The Wonder Skin lip stains just come in more shades. For fun, we can try that out. I've talked about how I love these little pointy Q-tips, and I have them on my Amazon storefront. But I swear y'all need them. Like, I use them for so many things. Especially, like, this might be a little TMI, but, like, sometimes, you know, you get, like, some eye boogers stuck on the inner corner of your eyes that you can't really get with your finger. I love using these Q-tips for that. These, like, little pointy nail teas. Or just to clean up and be precise. Love these. Nails, so many things that you can use these for. Always have a moderator. Okay, I was like, I don't know if my content is really being pushed out that much to the point where I need moderation. So I was kind of just seeing, you know, going with the flow. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna keep it moving. One thing I wanted to bring up was that there's this one. So what I appreciate about Beautylish is that it has certain brands that you really like don't see anywhere else. And one of those brands, now I want to kind of peel this off because it's looking weird. Thank y'all for interacting with the live. Please feel free to share it with anybody that you think might be interested in watching. It really helps my channel grow, whether you're watching me live or watching the replay. But As far as like the nuanced, like little brands that Beautylish carries, one of them is this Anna Sui brand. So there's a couple of things that I've picked up from Anna Sui just to test out because I've never tried it out. And so I picked up both of these primers. Oh, I didn't even see the offensive comment. Keisha, you blocked and reported it? Okay. Thank you. Slurs. There were some slurs. I didn't even see it. Yeah, so yeah, we're not tolerating the negativity in here. We got people checking, putting you in check. Okay, so yeah. So Anna Sui primers. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. Anyway, so these primers, I got two. So this one's called the Anna Sui Gel Foundation Primer, and then this one's called the Anna Sui the Skin Balm. So I'm curious to know if anybody has ever tried Anna Sui, but I figured for fun, and I haven't really tested these out to the extent where I would say like whether or not I recommend them or not, to be honest with you, but they're interesting. So for instance, this one here, the gel foundation primer, look at it has such a weird consistency. You see that? Yeah, I'm in the process of editing a couple of YouTube videos. I'm really trying to get up those Tanseido videos that I have filmed. So we're working on that right now. And so I'm kind of tempted to do half and half just to see the difference between these primers. But these primers are sold on Beautylish. So let's do a half and half situation, shall we? I did want to, first and foremost, before I forget, address that the last time I went live last Sunday and I talked about the Tanseido recommendations, I'm never going to claim that I know everything about Fude. I barely started collecting Japanese handmade makeup brushes, in other words, also called Fude, in like 2019-ish. So I'm still very much so learning. And I always say that I learn so much every time I get up on these lives. So thank you to those of you who call me out when I make a mistake. And one of the mistakes that I made was calling some of these Tanseido brushes Kazan, because I haven't, to be honest with you, pulled these out in a while. And now we're talking about them a lot because of the upcoming price increase. And for some reason, I knew that these were upgraded handles, but I didn't. But for some reason in my head, I correlated the upgraded handles with also upgraded hair. And I thought that they were Kazan squirrel hair, but they're not. They're just red squirrel. But I did see on the Fude Bubble website that there is a Kazan Tanseido brush being sold. So I went ahead and grabbed it because now I'm realizing I actually don't have Kazan like I thought I did. So thank you to those of you who brought that to my attention. And what? The handles are called the Aka handles, which are these beautiful gradient handles. So they're just, I guess the reason that I paid more for them was only because of the elevated handles, but nothing, I guess, particularly special about the hair. And then, yeah, so I appreciate learning from all of you who are so knowledgeable when it comes to Fude. And then this primer, I'm going in on the other side of my face, which is called the Anna Sui the Skin Balm. And the textures of these primers are just, they're really interesting. Like I don't find that there are other comparable primers on the market. It's almost like this one that I use, the gel foundation primer, it feels moisturizing on the skin, but it also feels like it's blurring. And I'm all about a blurring primer because I suffer with texture. Hey, son, how are you? Thanks for popping in. Okay, have fun today. Yeah, that's perfect that you both are my moderators that way. It's not just all the responsibility on one person in case somebody misses something. You want to pick up the Anasui? Which Anasui primer, Sylvia? You said that you're eyeing it too? Because I'm using half and half, one on one side, one on the other. Oh, they've been out of stock for a while? You've been trying to get a primer too? Interesting. Yeah, it looks like cheese curd. It's so weird, the consistency of this one, isn't it? It's pretty cool though. Oh, the gel one. Yeah, this one. That's this one. It's quite interesting. I think Anasui is what is it, a Korean? No, Japanese brand? Yeah, it's made in Japan. So these products by Anasui are Japanese products. So you know the Japanese make good products. I'm just taking off the lip stain that I had on. It looks crazy right now, but I think it'll look good when I add lip liner to it. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I get confused because, you know, it's been a while since I've picked up these brushes and stuff like that. So I never want to, it's never my intention to mislead anybody. So like, I appreciate Keisha letting me know that this one was Sokoho, not Ototsuho, like I had previously stated as well. So I just wanted to clarify those things. I had you second guessing yourself, Keisha. I know. I got a couple people after I posted that were like, where'd you get those? Because I don't think those exist. And then I was like, oh, shoot. I dug up my receipt from 2023 when I purchased them from Fude Beauty. And I was like, dang, it's true. They're not Kazan. Oh, and another thing I wanted to talk about too that I learned through that experience of having filmed that last Get Ready With Me live was that I had totally thought, I don't know where I got the idea in my head that Kazan squirrel is a higher grade of red squirrel than regular red squirrel, but I thought it was all still in the same category, kind of like how Kalinsky is still weasel, but just a higher grade of weasel. Turns out Kazan is a completely separate type. It's not under the red squirrel category. So I'm sure you probably already knew that, Keisha, and we're just probably too nice to call me out on that. But that's another thing I wanted to put out there that I was incorrect about and I have recently learned. So that's cool. The primer I'm using now reminds me of Tatcha, though you don't know if the textures are similar. Oh, I could see why you would say that. I have the Tatcha one. And okay, let me go get it. It's right here. You must be talking about the Tatcha Silk Canvas. It's different textures, but you're right. It does kind of remind, I could see why it would remind you of that one. You know what? In the Tatcha one feels kind of like a solid version of the Anasui gel one. It almost feels a little bit creamier. And this Anasui one feels like it's a little bit more like a water base. That's kind of the only difference. The textures are a little different from each other though. I wouldn't say that they're the same textures. So it's just fun to try out different products, right? And Anasui is a product that we really don't hear about, but I thought it would be fun to pull those products out for this live since we're talking about Beautylish gift card event. Products that you can get on Beautylish. Another primer, talking about primers, that is kind of interesting that I picked up on Beautylish is this Ray Morris one. And I picked this up on recommendation from the makeup artist that does Selena Gomez's makeup. What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name right now? Hung Van Gogh. He's the one that recommended this. It's like a mattifier. And you could even use it on top of makeup. This one feels like straight up silicone, like silicone in a solid version. So I wanted to shout out that Ray Morris Invisible Mattifier, Invisible Face Powder. So if you have an oily T-zone like me, the reason that I thought this was so cool is because of how like travel friendly and everything it looks to be. So if you're like wanting to just touch up real quick during the day, I thought this would be great for that. So I just wanted to shout that one out. And then I know, right? I was curious too. That's why I bought it. And I saw a couple of people online using it. Okay, another brand that is on Beautylish that I adore, and y'all have seen, and if you're not new to my channel, me rave about Chantecaille. So Chantecaille is also not sold at Ulta or Sephora, and I love these two foundations from Chantecaille, the Cushion Foundation and then the Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. Both great. You cannot go wrong with either. They don't come in the exact same shade. So I would say if you're considering trying one over the other, go with the one that looks like carries the best shade match for you. But yeah, I love both of the foundations. And right now I have the Cushion Foundation in Wheat and the gel foundation I have in the shade Sand, which seems like it's a little bit darker than this Wheat color. So let's go in with this one, shall we? And the two foundation brushes from Tanseido that I have out handy are these two here. The Sokoho one and then the Kolinsky one, but I did showcase these already in my last live. So this one is a little bit airier and I'm not so sure how well it would do with a cushion foundation. So I would not recommend this Tanseido brush necessarily. I think you can make it work by just really like going in and pushing into it, but it's not super ideal. I would rather use, for a cushion foundation, I've mentioned my favorite foundation brush to use with it is the Bisciotto S115 brush, and that one you can pick up on the Fude Bobo website. It's a synthetic, but because we're talking about what you can get at Beautylish, I'm going to use this Sonia G mini sheer buffer. And I have the full regular size sheer buffer that's bigger than this, which would be more fitting for foundation. But I've just really been enjoying this mini one because it recently did come out. So it just might take a little bit longer to do my foundation with it because of its smaller circumference. But the good thing about this brush being smaller is that I enjoy it more for tasks like cream contour, cream blush, because it just is easier to keep it more controlled given the size. Oh, you have that same brush? Which brush? Elevated, the elevated handles. Yeah, right. These Aka handles were supposedly only released on Fude Beauty. And like I said, I picked them up back in 2023. So I don't know that you can get them right now or anymore. But I have never shopped on the actual Tanseido website. So I do think that there are more things available by shopping Tanseido directly that way. But I just have never actually gone on and tried doing it that way. The face and neck Tanseido red squirrel brushes. Face and cheek. Oh, interesting, Stacy. I would love to know what you think about those. Tanseido's red squirrel is really nice, high quality, which is probably why I confused it for Kazan, because Kazan is like, it just feels more airy and like in comparison to regular gray or blue squirrel, it just has this kind of like airiness to it. It's hard to explain, but yeah, a lot of people don't love that Tanseido isn't really known to have a lot of dense brushes. Their bundling does tend to be more airy, but I can appreciate that for certain reasons. I think that like, for instance, if you're a working makeup artist and you have to go between clients, it's a lot easier to clean off these more airy brushes than it is to wash a dense brush. So that's something that's good about airy brushes. Another thing too is that if you just want, if it depends on kind of like your makeup style too, right? So If your makeup style or the products you're using are really pigmented, or if your makeup style is more conservative, you might like more airy brushes, right? So it just kind of depends. Everybody's has completely different preferences. And I love the fact that there is something different for everybody based on what you prefer. Hi, Amit from India. Thank you for joining. You love the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation, says Keisha. Yeah, Stacy loves Chantecaille too. Chantecaille is amazing. It's great. And I was actually just perusing on the Beautylish website earlier in preparation for this live. Look at how pretty. Like, I just did a light layer of this cushion foundation. I am not going in and really like caking this on. I'm just trying to get one light, even layer, because what I appreciate about Chantecaille products in general is they're so elegant. So you don't feel like you need to like cake up a bunch of product. It just kind of gives you exactly what you need, and you're not like when you use a foundation and you're trying to get coverage out of it, right? You might feel the need to kind of pile on more to cover what you want to cover. But with Chantecaille foundations and skin products in general, like, I don't feel the need to like cake up a bunch of product, because the actual formula is already kind of helping blur my skin. So in exchange, my skin just can look its best, but as natural as possible. So as I get older and am getting more wrinkles and stuff like that, I'm tending to seek more elegant looking cosmetic formulas. And that's why I just rave about Chantecaille so much. I do have a couple of other products that I saw on the Beautylish website before getting up on here live that I want to chat about, that I'm surprised are on there still, because I thought that this Lotus collection was limited edition, but I'm seeing that they are still carrying their highlighter and their glow powder on there. So we'll chat about those in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that part of the look when I get there. But I totally could have also used this Kolinsky brush with that cushion foundation to really kind of swipe that on. But I was happy with the way this Sheer Buffer by Sonia G applied it. Again, available on the Beautylish website, which carries Sonia G exclusively. Oh, you bought a brush directly from Tanseido, Keisha? You selected an engraved pattern on the handle with a brush coat on the back. That's so cool. I hope that experience went well for you. Thanks for sharing. The shade struggle is real. That is one downside about Chantecaille, that they could definitely benefit from expanding their shade range. So I will say that. Yeah, they need to step it up in that area for sure, because their products are so beautiful, right? They need to be available for everybody. Yeah. Their formulas are great, but they need to step up their shade range. Exactly. I completely agree with that, and I understand. You need to either use the glow powder or declutter it. I think this has come up in our conversation before, Keisha, where you also have an oily T-zone, if I'm not mistaken, like me. And that's why I was hesitant to pick this glow powder up, because I usually tend to stay away from powders that have any type of glow in them. But what I find really unique about this particular one is that it does not emphasize texture or wrinkles. Kind of like Hourglass, kind of like Guerlain Meteorites. There are these higher end powders that just have this technology in them that, I don't know, like it's obvious that that's what you're paying for. And you just don't find them like that at the drugstore or, with lower end beauty products, is what I've been finding. So I'm going in with this Natasha Denona concealer. This is the High Glam concealer. It's a little bit peachy, so I might need to lighten it up with another concealer. We'll see. But Natasha Denona is carried at Beautylish, and this concealer is raved about in the beauty community a lot. People really appreciate the coverage that it has, although still remaining very lightweight and serum-like. So I recommend that concealer if you're in the market for one, if you're looking on the Beautylish website. And again, I'm going to go in with the Tanseido KQ15. I picked this up on the Food A Bobo website. It's a Kolinsky brush. It's a nice medium-sized Kolinsky brush in the sense that it's not too small like an eye brush, but it's not big like a face brush, which is why I like using this for concealer, because it's just very efficient at blending out concealer. If you can tell already how fast it's blending it out. And I love this type of hair because it's very resilient, although still soft. So it's great for sensitive skin, and it's very easy to clean off and to reuse. And it can be used with all types of formulas. And so I just find that this particular shape, the size and the width of the ferrule, how many hairs are packed in there, is just very unique on the market. So I highly recommend the KQ15 if you're trying to decide on a Food A brush, particularly one from Tanseido, prior to the 4-1 price increase. Whoops. I wasn't holding the brush right and I just flicked my eyelash with it. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, I agree, Kat, with what you're saying about Shantakai. Keisha, your nose gets oily, your forehead and chin are not. Interesting. Okay, so you might not have the same issues or concerns that I do. Yeah, I would encourage you to pull this baby out again. And the brush that I recommend using with it is any of the Sonia G flat top brush. Those buffers are great with this particular powder. Ooh, you have that concealer, Kieran? Do you like it? Hourglass, I said, is also on Beautylish, and I really love the Hourglass concealer. I have it in multiple shades, and that's how you know when I really love a concealer, is if I feel the need to pick it up in multiple shades. So I have the shade Beach, Apricot, and Sepia. So I'm going to use this shade Beach. I think it's a pretty good shade match right now to my skin. So I try to get a concealer that is a shade match to my actual skin tone, and then one that's a little bit lighter to brighten, which is why that one is Beach, and then Sepia is a little bit lighter. So I like to just put that in the areas where I want to brighten. And right before this, I did just get my Botox done. My dad does my Botox. So it hasn't kicked in yet, obviously. It takes like 5 days to kick in. But I was thinking like, oh, I hope I don't have any like bumpiness or anything, but I don't. Surprisingly, sometimes I do have some bumpiness. I'm wondering if recently having gotten the Cool Peel CO2 laser has anything to do with it. I did check with my provider that since I just hit the 2-week mark from getting that done on Friday, I was like, can I get Botox done at the 2-week mark? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I'm wondering if, just because part of what that laser is doing is helping my own skin, kind of like it injects like vapor into the skin in like, you know, it just kind of, you know, I'm not a physician, right? So, or in the medical field at all whatsoever. So I'm struggling through even explaining this to you, but based on my limited understanding of how the technology works, the whole point is to like cause like burns right in the skin through these lasers, and then your skin is by itself repairing itself and then simultaneously producing collagen and all of that, which will then help rejuvenate and resurface the top layers of the skin. So all that to say that I'm wondering if that has anything to do with, because right after I've gotten Botox before, I have had still some where the needle goes in, areas where it looks a little bit like swollen or irritated. And right now I'm not seeing, like, you could probably, if I didn't say anything, probably wouldn't even have been able to tell that I got any injections done earlier like I did. So, and because my dad does it, we just have fun kind of like or at least me, I ask him to like experiment sometimes in different areas of the face to see kind of like the effect that it gives, because Botox only lasts 3 months, right? It's, if that, it's temporary. The differences are subtle. So even if something doesn't turn out exactly how I want it, I just tell myself it's not that noticeable and it'll just wear off. So the interesting thing about what we did today, which I don't know if it will make a difference, but I'm trying out the nostrils. So I had him inject right here to see if, I don't know what it'll do. I've heard people say that it helps prevent like nostril flaring. Maybe it'll give like some definition, like a natural nose contour. We'll see. So I don't know if anybody's interested in that, but I love experimenting with stuff like that. Second time using it and so far not bad, says Kieran about the Natasha Denona concealer. You got a lighter shade. Love that. If you can ever find the Chantecaille brightening eye powder, it's so worth it, says Cindy. Oh, thank you for letting us know that. I don't think I've seen that. Have they discontinued it? If not, I would love to grab one of those. Yeah, Cindy has a YouTube channel. Welcome, Cindy. Thank you for following me here. I'll try the smooth buffer with it and let you know if my opinion changes. Okay, yeah, please let me know, Keisha, one way or the other. Even if I recommend something that doesn't end up working out for you, I'm saying this in general, please do report back. Like, I'll never take it the wrong way, I promise. I'm genuinely curious to know, like how Kat said that she tried some Sicily things that I had recommended and she wasn't so stoked on them. I feel badly when you guys don't like my recs, but I am curious. So it's called the Chantecaille Radiant Glow Blur Powder. Okay, I'm gonna screenshot that because I'm gonna do like a thorough Google search after this. It's amazing for an under eye powder. It was limited edition. Dang. See, that's why it's like when Chantecaille comes out with their limited edition stuff, you have to just jump on it because it'll go away and then you'll never be able to find it again. One of the things that I do think is limited edition, which I also saw on the Beautylish website that they're carrying, is still part of their Cheetah collection, which they recently released this past year, maybe in 2024. But once these are gone, they're probably gone for good. And everything that I have so far tried in their Cheetah collection has not disappointed. Whether it's the eyeshadows or the lippies, their lip cheeks are great. I love their lip cheeks. This is in the shade Wild Sienna. So this is a contester for today. I was thinking I can potentially top it off with the Wayne gloss, since you can get Wayne gloss on Beautylish too. And there's this one particular shade of his that I find very unique and really beautiful and reminds me of like a 90s lip. It's in the shade Hibiscus. So I want to show you that when we get to the lip. Hey, Susan, thanks very much for joining. Yeah, my dad does my talks, right? Both sides this time. Thank you for remembering that. That's so funny. Yeah, I was saying that last time I was talking to him, so I was distracting him while he was doing my Botox. And I had him inject right here because when I smile, I tend to get like that like snare. I don't know what it's called, whatever, but it's just kind of pronounced and more prominent. So it just relaxes this a little bit when I smile. And he accidentally forgot the other side. And so he left me a little bit lopsided. But like I said, I kind of take partial fault for that, for distracting him while he's doing it. So that's funny that you brought that up. That's hilarious. Yeah, it should be even today. Okay, let's go in with powder, shall we? Or maybe before powder, actually, I brought out my cream contour. This one is the Contrast Stick by Kevin Aqua. So Kevin Aqua is carried on Beautylish, and it is not carried at Sephora. So I should use this contour stick more because it is really nice. It's very blendable, and it's a really great contour shade. As you can see, it leans cooler. So I like, a lot of times I don't draw on my face like this, but with this one, I feel like I can get away with because it blends out so nicely. But if you struggle with your makeup, or maybe contour tends to be a little bit intimidating for you, I would recommend just going in and dipping your brush into it instead of drawing directly on your face. Or if you feel like it kind of moves around your base products, that's another way to try to prevent it. But like I said, because this one particular contour stick is emollient, somebody asked me the other day about the Fenty contour sticks, and I do like them, but you could tell that the formula is just a little bit different. Like the Fenty one is slightly drier, and this one is just a little bit more emollient. And it's not always, I don't always mean to say things like that in like a bad way to criticize the Fenty one, because I do recommend the Fenty contour stick. It might be better, like when we're talking about lip liners, it's a similar idea, right? There's more creamy and emollient lip liners, but maybe they don't give you that lasting power. So a lot of times when you're exchanging the emollients in a product for, you know, a less dry product, the catch about that is maybe it doesn't last as long, or maybe it's not as pigmented. But you might be looking for that, right? Like look at this Kevin Aqua contour stick. It's giving me kind of like a subtle contour. Part of it, of course, is because of the shade, right? The shade is not so much darker than my actual skin tone, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what look you're going for. But because my skin is otherwise quite natural right now, I would say, I don't think I really need to go in with too dark of a cream contour. So today I'm going in with all of my cream products before going in with my powder products. So I haven't decided on a blush yet. We'll decide on a blush once we do the eyes, because it might be pretty, yeah, we'll have to just make sure that it matches. But I think we can set at this point. And I brought out some Kogan Dough powders for this step because, again, Kogan Dough is carried on Beautylish, and Kogan Dough is a Japanese beauty brand, and it carries, they carry a lot of really great complexion products. I have this one powder here from Wayne Goss too that is also carried on Beautylish. It's the translucent weightless powder. So that one's also a contender. But I have the Kogan Dough Maifanshi Natural Lighting Powder. These are made in Japan. And then this one is the Kogan Dough Maifanshi Sheer Moist Powder. So if you have drier skin, you probably want to check out the moist one, the Sheer Moist Powder. And then this Natural Lighting Powder has like a slight radiance to it. So I consider this one more so, I use it like a finishing powder. It has a slight tint to it too. So I don't know if you can tell, but they're just different. And then as for a pressed powder, I have this one by Kogan Dough, which is the Maifanshi Brightening Moisture Powder. I find this one really interesting because it does feel moist, even though it's a powder. And just look at how cool the pan looks. It's also quite brightening too. So I like to just use this for my T-zone. And I use these sparingly because I enjoy them and they're really nice formulas. So you have those loose powders? Cindy, how do you feel about them? Let us know. Cindy, that's the one in the Seafoam Compact with the golden dollar design on top. Oh, the one that she's, yeah, the powder she's talking about. Oh no, she said the gold packaging with the gold flakes in the center. Oh, so the packaging that you're talking about must be this packaging, but this one's not the powder that you're talking about. This is the Precious Gold Illuminating Powder. I don't think this one's the one that you're talking about, right, Cindy? Because this one's more like a highlighter. This one's a gold highlighter. I love this one too, but I don't think this one's available anymore, which is why I didn't want to pull it out for y'all. But I don't think this one's the one Cindy's talking about, but I think it's the same packaging that she means. But isn't that gorgeous as a highlighter? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Like, I don't even know if the camera is doing it justice, but it's like glass skin. And it's subtle, and like I said, like nothing about Chantecaille emphasizes wrinkles. I may do that today over this Valentino foundation. Valentino has great foundation too, but they're supposedly reformulating it. So just different skin needs different things. Yeah, exactly. Let me use this moisturizing one today. Is the moist one too glowy though? I don't think so. The moisturizing one doesn't have any glow in it. But if what you mean by that is like, does it not mattify my skin enough? You know, I don't, well, we can test it out today. I don't find that to be the case in the times that I've used it, but I will say that it has been a little bit since I last used it. So we'll see. We'll see. So I'm just taking this cotton puff and pushing it in. But see, it's matte. Like the actual formula is matte. So as far as like how long it lasts and keeps my skin matte, I would have to probably just do a wear test to be able to remind myself. But upon initial application, it's quite mattifying. So you see the difference between this under eye and this under eye already. I just wouldn't use this other one for the same setting step because it has a slight tint to it. So I don't want it to darken up my concealer. I like to use a translucent powder for the under eye area so that it doesn't change the color of the concealer that I want to keep bright. Yeah, exactly. Totally. I completely agree with that, Kat. Different skin needs different things. Unless a product is just really outright bad, I don't shit on a product. I think I can say that word here. I'll just say why it didn't work for me and why it may work for somebody else. Exactly. I try to do the same, keeping in mind that everybody's concerns are completely different. That's funny. Yeah, it's not a good idea to distract the person that's injecting your face. I love loose powders too, Cindy. I seriously like I'm such a powder girl, so I love trying and testing out different powders. That's why I end up with so many. And there's still a couple on my list. Like I intend on picking up the YSL loose powder and the Guerlain loose powder. Somebody the other day said that they find the Guerlain loose powder that Sylvia also has recommended to me. And I trust Sylvia's recommendations because she has, I think, combination to oily skin too, like me. And correct me if I'm mistaken, Sylvia. But I know for a fact that Sylvia and I have talked about how she looks for a mattifying setting powder for that same reason. But somebody was saying that the closest powder that she has found to the sadly discontinued or the reformulated Givenchy powder that we all used to love was that Guerlain one. Okay, so that's the highlighter, but they also have the brightening powder. See, I didn't pick up that brightening powder. I only have that highlighter. Okay, yeah, please do tag me. I would love to see that. Once it settles on the skin. Right now it's really matte. So it's not shiny at all right now, Sylvia. I can't speak on the lasting power, but as far as the actual formula of the powder, it's matte. Hey Melissa, how are you? So I have brought out the Wayne Goss bronzer powder. I have the shade Deep Copper, I guess. Bronze and Sculpt. So it has Copper Glow and Deep Taupe as the shades. And I was thinking I can use that as a bronzer powder because Wayne Goss is sold on Beautylish. As far as powder contours though, I rave about how I love the Natasha Denona one that's sold on Beautylish, but if this one didn't exist, a good alternative is the Kevyn Aucoin one. And I didn't see this exact palette on there, but you can buy individually the blushes, which look like this. His blushes are like gradients. And you can, I think, also buy the contour powders individually as well. So this was just a fun palette that I've had forever. And I personally use my powders forever. Like I don't really consider powders to expire. I know technically they do, but my skin is resilient and I've never had any reactions. So to each his own. I'm not recommending it. It's just how I feel. There's a lot of things, like, in my opinion, like expiration dates and stuff that are formalities legally, you know, but like you won't die. Anyway, love the look so far. Thank you so much, Kat. I am correct about your skin type. Okay. The YSL loose powder, recommend you pick that up. Oh, you've tried it already? That's okay. Glad to hear that. Please update me later if... Okay, yeah, I will update you later for sure. I don't intend on wearing this for that long, but at least until Mass is over. I can update you after church. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of this. You know, these Wayne Goss bronzers, they're not bad, but it's not like my favorite bronzer. I don't think to reach for it all the time. There are a couple things about it that I personally would change, but that's just me. Yeah, expiration dates are just a suggestion. Great minds think alike, Melissa. So I'm using the Beautylish Llano series brush too, but like I said, all of the ones in the series are great and priced really well too. So if on top of that, you can get a 20% off discount on them by getting the 20, that's kind of in my mind a 20% off discount when you get $20 cash back, right? What I do appreciate about this palette is that one side is warmer than the other side. So that's good when, and I'm going into the cooler side to give me more of like a powder contour, but it's still not as cool as I like my powder contour to be. So that's why I have the actual powder contours here next to me for that step. Oh, Keisha, your skin doesn't like the YSL loose powder. You've already tried it. By the way, this brush has a mix of squirrel hair and dyed psycho goat hair, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But they're not all not all the brushes in the series are mixed with the goat hair. I think this one might be the only one. I think the rest of them are squirrel. So that is something to note. And my face right now is not as tan as my body because I did put a self tan on. And I have these bruises on my arms because I get allergy shots. So every time I get a shot, it becomes a bruise. Because that's kind of the idea, is I'm trying to become immune to my allergies since my allergies are so bad. The Llano too has your heart. You love this one. It's a very interesting shape. I just find that like it's kind of like an egg shape. It's not fully a 3D shape brush. It's just interesting. It's nice and tapered. If I don't get going, I'm gonna not finish on time. Like, my goal is to finish in, let's see if I can, actually we're already at the hour mark, so see, I can get chatty and then it's like completely, I don't know why I was thinking I would be done by now. There's no way. Let's see where the poll is right now. We have 14 votes so far. 36% are Pat McGrath, 14% Natasha Denona, 21% is Dior, and 29% is Tom Ford. Ooh, y'all. Y'all are voting for Pat McGrath, it looks like. Okay. If anybody really wants me to like combine it with anything else, I could always, you know, break the rules. But we'll keep the poll up until we're ready to do the eyeshadow. It's sad that it doesn't let you change your answer, huh? Once you vote, I think it's over for you. I would, with my indecisiveness. Yeah, curious to know if anybody else enjoys the Wayne Goss bronzer. Like I said, it's not my favorite bronzer, but I think part of it has to do with the fact that it just runs a little bit warm on me. So maybe I would like it more if the shade match was better. If I didn't have this self-tan on, it definitely would be too dark. So I like to just take this little Patrick Ta brush and blend in my hairline before I forget. Okay, so let's see. Because I always use the Natasha Denona contour powder, I'll just put a little bit of this Kevyn Aqua contour powder, and I could use any number of Tanseido brushes for this contour step because I specifically look for a more airy brush when I'm going to go in and do my powder contour so that it doesn't get out of hand on me too quickly. And just some examples of brushes that I would consider good brushes for this step are any number of these right here. Could even get away with doing this, using this one for powder contour too, but I like this one better for blush. But for instance, like this squirrel one, the red squirrel one, it's nice and flat, so I could get away with doing the powder contour using this one. I could also use one of these smaller ones. This one's great for so many different tasks, including powder contour. Same with these little angled ones. And this is what I mean about like the airiness of Tanseido's brushes. And that's why they work well for highly pigmented products because they're just nice and wispy, right? And I would not grab for a very dense brush for the powder contour. Because like I said, it can get away from you, especially if the powder contour that you're working with is quite pigmented. This is another one that's kind of a funky mix. And it's just like I don't even know what technically, I think it's labeled like pine squirrel or something, or a mix of different squirrel types, but this one even could be a good one. This one I would consider more so appropriate for like a powder highlight though. So for right now, I'll go in with this squirrel one. It has this nice little angle brush, and this is the SS14. So I'm going to go in with the sculpting powder in medium. That's typically the shade that is the perfect powder contour shade for me. It picks up the perfect amount. I'll pull my skin back like this, and I kind of just, I don't think I really need powder contour because especially since we used cream contour today, but just to kind of showcase the Kevyn Aqua contour powder along with this Tanseido brush, I'll just do a quick little light powder contour. Just going to contour a little bit along the jawline. But yeah, squirrel hair is good to use for your powders that are highly pigmented that you might find intimidating. Just use a type of hair that doesn't put down a lot of product at once, which is why I can appreciate a place in my brush collection for those more airy, delicate brushes from Tanseido and hair types. Okay, so this also has a really pretty blush in there that we might be able to just use today for this look, actually. I just want to make sure that my bronzer's all nice and blended in. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I see a little bit of patchiness right there, which might be my fault for not powdering everything completely evenly before this, but multitasking is harder than it looks. Applying makeup and interacting and engaging with y'all at once. But anyway, okay, so next step. I think we're gonna go into eyeshadow now. So, or should we just do, before eyeshadow, should we do a lippy? I usually wait to do the lip, after the eyeshadow to match it. But today, I'm pretty sure I've already decided which lippy I'm gonna use. And it's a nude lip, so it'll go with the eyeshadow look. So let's just do that real quick, because right now the way that my lips are looking, I can't really stand it. So Sisley is on Beautylish as well, so they should hopefully carry their lip liner. I was talking the other day about how I really do enjoy the Sisley lip liners. I'm looking for my little, oh, here we go, my handheld mirror. I love the formula. I love the fact that they are opaque and pigmented, so you're not struggling to, like, you know, dragging your skin and having to like really apply layers to get the color. It sharpens really well. The shades are great. It comes with the brush on the other side, and it really does stay put. And it's not too creamy, because I personally don't like my lip liners to be too creamy. Like, one that I would consider a little bit too creamy for my liking is the new they didn't reformulate, MakeupEsquire didn't reformulate their pencil because these are like all over face pencils, but I use them for lip liners mostly. I don't really use these on the eyes, but you could. But let's say you're comparing like this formula. This is what I mean. This is a more dry formula, which I like personally, like the way that it looks and applies, because it's not shiny or anything. But at the same time, you don't get the longevity. So then Makeup Forever reformulated them and made them last longer. But there's something about them that just is like a tad like too creamy for me. And my liking and my preference. So I just find that the Sisley ones are just like a perfect in between. So if you can find these on Beautylish, I would recommend it. But they can be pricey, so I can understand if somebody thinks that this is overpriced. Natasha Denona, like I said, is also carried on Beautylish. She has really great lip liners too. They're, again, a little bit creamier, but they are long lasting, and they do come in great shades. So I do recommend those as well. So let me show you the lippy. I'm going to go in with the shade Wild Sienna and Chantecaille. She's a gorgeous brand new. I had already purchased this one on my own, and then Chantecaille was so generous and sent me some PR, so they included one of these in the PR box. So I was able to give my other one to my mom. I even offered her the new one, and she's like, it's okay, because I had just barely like used the other one that I had like once or twice, so it was basically new. And so she scored just because I was gifted another one. Otherwise, I would have not been able to give this one up to my mom, because look at how gorgeous. Like, I love the Chantecaille lip cheeks. This is actually the lip veil, but I love their lip cheeks too, and Beautylish carries both of them. The lip veil is just a little bit more moisturizing, I think, than the lip cheeks. So look at how pretty that is though. That's, again, the shade Wild Sienna. It's like the perfect My Lips But Better. And then the lip gloss that I was saying was really special. It's the only lip gloss, I will put out that caveat, that I've ever tried from Wayne Gloss is this particular shade Hibiscus. But I liked it enough to where I got myself another one, because it's a really unique color. Let me show you. You know, remember in the 90s how it was really in to have like this like glazed look on your lips? Y'all remember that? Look at that shine. It's just a very unique color, this particular Hibiscus. It smells like a little bit minty, which I appreciate. Some people might not like that, but I like it. Ooh, thank you for the hearts, y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just keeping it to the middle of the lips just to show you. It just gives it this beautiful kind of like glass look. Okay, so because Pat McGrath won, Tom Ford was the next in line, but Pat McGrath has won. So let's go in with the Pat McGrath palette here. And which ones I should, this one is, you know, she doesn't put the names. Oh, this one's Mothership 2 Sublime. Make sure I'm keeping up with the comments. You just buffed your face with the Lotus Glow Powder? What'd you think? Sylvia, I wish brands would stop with the heavy fragrance in cosmetics. Yeah. Kind of multitask. It does take talent to multitask. I could be better at it, but like, it's hard. Yeah, my makeup, that's why it doesn't, I mean, maybe that's just the excuse that I'm putting out there for myself, but it's, my makeup doesn't always turn out perfect when I'm live just because, like, I don't know, that's not the point, right? Doing a live while applying makeup and having a conversation at once. That's why I tend to forget to address things and I misspeak all the time because my mind is in a million different places. And especially when you're in a rush because time just flies. Yeah. The black pencils are more for performance. You're talking about the Makeup Forever? Yeah. Guerlain isn't in store at your Nordstrom. I wonder if they sell it on Nordstrom online. Lip liner wore it yesterday. The Natasha Denona lip liner. Yeah, the ones that I just mentioned. They're great, aren't they? Totally. I like the shades. The shades are very like nuanced and unique. One is more pigmented, one's more moisturizing. So true. Yeah. Yeah. Pat McGrath Frost Divine Rose 2 Gloss Dupe. Ooh, okay. They have a 6-month shelf life. Yeah, like I said, this one I'm sure is probably past the shelf life too, but YOLO. Don't follow my, do as I say, not as I do. I don't abide by shelf lives, but I'm not telling you all not to. Okay, so don't come after me and sue me. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get in started with this because time is running and we don't have that much of it yet left. So let me just start out by, I kind of just want to go in and apply this green shade all over the lid. Just go in. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with this Tanseido. This is the tea dyed version of the KQ12S. But I could also go in with really any similar flat shape brush like this. The KQ12S I rave about all the time. This would be a great one for that. So would this tea dyed one. That would be a great one too for this step. So many brushes that I could choose from. But let's see. This one's also a tea dyed one. That's just like a little mini smaller version of this one. So maybe I'll go in and just do a quick little, we'll just do a simple look and leave that green color as the star of the show. So I'm going to go in with the crease shade. As you can see, this palette could use a lot more love from me than it gets. So today it gets to shine. And at least everything else is done except blush pretty much. Might not even need to do a highlighter. We'll see. I was just going to maybe finish off with those Chantecaille. I guess I could just apply that Chantecaille highlighter to show y'all. But I'm going to be just throwing this shade right here in the crease. Since in this palette, it's pretty much the closest thing to a crease shade. It's a little bit like mauve. So hopefully it'll still go with the look. I put this shirt on because it's the closest thing to like a green. I guess I have other green shirts, but I've worn them already on here. So I'm just trying to switch it up. And I haven't reached for this one in a while. But I thought this one would go with the overall green vibe. I feel a little bit sensitive right here when I'm doing this because of, I think he injected around here. So I kind of can feel, yeah, I can feel it right here. Because that's that brow lift that I was saying I need with the Botox to give me more eyeshadow space to play. And this is just, I'm going to do like an easy, like almost like a 2 and done look here today with the makeup. because we're going to make that green shade the star of the show. This is the Sonia G, also available at the Beautylish website in her Voyage set. This one has been great. I've been reaching for it a lot. Have you started testing yours out, Keisha? I know last time we had chatted, you're like, I haven't even watched mine yet. Which I'm not judging you for, because there's been times that I've done that too, where I like will order something and then it'll like take me a really long time to actually use it. Brushes included. Sometimes I get lazy to wash them right away. Okay, so that's a cute little just crease shade. It's weird, I don't feel sensitivity right here on this side, only on this side. Let's hope you didn't forget to inject this side. Guess we'll see. Okay. Okay, going in now with still, I think I'm gonna do the smaller one just so it doesn't get away from me too quickly. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of like on the center eyelid too. And I'm wearing Lashify eyelashes too, by the way. I'm not really gonna go into it because I just posted a video earlier last night where I did my eyelashes on camera for y'all. It's a long one because we were just playing and chatting and hanging out. I went live on here yesterday and did my eyelashes because I was prepping for today and I just wanted to test out this live feature on YouTube since I only ever go live on Instagram before this, but now I'm transitioning here on YouTube. So if you are interested in how I did my lashes, feel free to check that video out. You also have a 20% off discount to the entire website by using my link, which I will put in the description box down below if it's not there already. Confusing Botox injectors, I know, right? Yeah, okay, so Dior and Tom Ford are tied at 27%, but Pat McGrath is still up at 33%. So I'm about to end the poll now since we're already going in on the eyeshadow. Where's Brittany when I need her to guide me through these highly pigmented eyeshadow looks that y'all know are a little bit outside of my comfort zone? Because I usually don't do super intense, colorful shadows, but I figure St. Patty's Day is kind of an excuse too, right? You know, I think I'm going to go in to this really pretty brown right here and kind of further deepen up the crease. I think that'll be pretty. As much as I'm tempted to dip into like all the palettes and just do this like really cool and intense and intricate eye look, ain't nobody got time, right? At least not me personally today because I have somewhere to be, but also just in general. Like in our day-to-day lives, unless you're like Kat who wakes up 3 hours early to do her makeup and take her time, which would be ideal. The emerald eyeshadow looks good on me. Thank you so much, Kieran. I appreciate that. Okay, you used the Voyage brushes once, you liked them, but you weren't blown away by the set. Fair enough. It's a little light for you. You're going to try it on bare skin? Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. You were hoping I would do that with the eyeshadow? Good. It's a beautiful green, right? Totally. Let's add a little bit to the bottom. Kieran, you give yourself 2 to 3 hours to get ready too. Love that for you. Yeah. College student lifestyle. It looks so good. Thank you so much, Melissa. Yeah, green glam. You love it? Thank you. I'm doing green because it's St. Patty's Day tomorrow. And I'm not used to doing like super intense green looks. So I'm glad it's coming out okay so far. All right, I'm gonna now go in with the little mini baby of that tea dyed brush by Tanseido. And you know what would also be good for this step actually is like either of these brushes. So Tanseido has some really precise little small brushes that I appreciate for detail work. So like for instance, I'm gonna go into the black shade here and I'm gonna start to just smoke out the lash line real quick. I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible because we're going on an hour and a half and I couldn't believe I was gonna try to finish this look in 1 hour. If I could just do this with my mouth shut, it would be a lot quicker, but because I can't stop talking, that's what always takes me a long time. I'm actually gonna hold up the mirror. Try not to block your view. This is a good way of doing your eyeliner if you're in a rush and you don't really want to mess with like a liquid liner or something. Just take a powder shadow. If you already have a black or a dark brown or something in front of you, and just like a small precise brush. This brush I'm using is the KQ7G, also available on the Beautylish website. And deepen up that lash line to make it kind of look like the lash line is thicker. I'm just keeping this black real close and tight up against the lash line. Yeah, I know. Why would I want to do anything without yapping? Right, exactly. That's the fun of it too, right? Getting to chat. When I was little, my mom would tell me that I had a big mouth, and that's where the idea of becoming a lawyer came, my earliest memory. And now I get paid for my big mouth, so talk about taking criticism and using it to your advantage. Okay, I'm gonna use a bottom lash mascara, Hourglass, because you can find Hourglass on Beautylish as well. And I do find that it makes a pretty big difference when you pop on some bottom lash mascara. I like this one. It is I like both types of the Hourglass mascara, by the way. I finished an entire Caution Extreme Lash Mascara by Hourglass, but this is their non-tubing one, and this is just the mini one, but I finished the full size of it. It looks like this mascara, except it's a triangle packaging. But now I'm working on this one, which is the Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara, and it's a tubing mascara. And I don't really have like a preference. I wouldn't necessarily say I like one over the other. They're both great. It just depends on whether you prefer a tubing one or a regular one. I would say the tubing one is more lengthening and the regular one is more volumizing, but there are benefits to a tubing mascara, like the fact that it's easier to remove because it just comes off with hot water, and the fact that it doesn't smudge or flake. But I don't find that I get much smudging or flaking with the other one either, the Caution one. So that's why I say they're both good formulas. It just depends on what you're looking for, if anybody's curious about the Hourglass mascaras. And then this is where I Keep my KQ12S handy. Also by Tanseido on the Fude Bobo website. I have 3 of these, even though I'm not one to purchase backups of brushes. So it just goes to show this is my absolute favorite Tanseido brush because it's just so unique and I haven't yet to find a comparable brush on the market. But I love it for this step in particular where I'm dipping into my NARS. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. And if you do like a powder wing, I didn't really do an intense wing today with the powder, but whether it's intense or not, or you do one at all, if you have like eyeshadow fallout, you just want to clean up real quick, that's perfect. Same with these little nail teas that I was saying on my Amazon storefront. Same type of an idea. You can just use it to kind of clean up. And I also like using the KQ12S to clean up my eyebrows to kind of like fix the shape. If I get messy about my brow product application. I'm just making sure everything's nice and blended out in the crease. I don't like the line to be too sharp, so I just go back and blend it out. I don't know about the eyeshadow, y'all. I think it needs an inner corner highlight. Let's see if that'll make it better. There's something that's still off about it. All right, I'm gonna go in with this Tanseido brush here. And inner corner highlight. Shall we do this one? I think maybe this one will be pretty. Okay, bye Melissa. Yeah, I'll put up the replay. Thank you for joining. Have a good dinner. The mascara is decent, you think, Sylvia? Which one, the Caution or the Unlocked? Or both? And what's your favorite mascara that you're comparing it to? I'd love to know. Kind of just blending out that inner corner highlight. I'm just gonna touch the brow bone with it too. I think I need to deepen up my crease. I'm gonna go in with the shade that I initially started with and just kind of, maybe I need to just deepen it up. There's something that's still a little bit off to me about this look. It looks a little bit better. Not your personal favorite, but not bad, the mascara, Sylvia. Thanks for sharing. Good to know. Yeah, I'm a little bit less picky lately about my mascaras because I'm only using them on my bottom lashes. So the bar is pretty low. I just pretty much have to make sure that they're not giving me raccoon eyes throughout the day. And as long as they don't do that. I also really enjoy the Thrive one. It's also a tubing mascara. But I find that it's comparable to the Hourglass one. Just touching up with this Benefit brow. What is this? Precisely My Brow. Okay. And then I'm gonna just throw on a Brow Gel. Charlotte Tilbury should also be carried at Beautylish. This isn't the one I want though. I have 2 different shades. And this one's the lighter shade of the 2. This one's the shade I'm looking for. This one's better. I used to have blonde hair, so sometimes I still have brow gels from the time I was blonde, and they were lighter. There. This one's a nice fiber brow gel if you're looking to add volume to your eyebrows. Okay, and then we'll just touch up with a little bit of blush. Like I said, I have the Kevyn Aucoin one here in front of me. And we're almost done. I'm going to go in with this Tanseido Squirrel brush that I've been enjoying for blush. It's not really picking up as much as I want it to pick up, maybe because it's just old and dry. But it's still there. You could still see it. Maybe it's also because I'm using a squirrel brush, which is kind of the idea. It doesn't pick up a lot at once. I didn't do a nose contour. Might just do a quick little one. Just because now see, it just looks like something is missing here in the center of my face compared to everything else going on. For this step, I'm using the Koyudo Yoshiki brush that is also sold on the Fude Bobo website. You can buy this one individually or as a set. I've been enjoying it for my nose contour. Just a little bit of dimension, not too crazy. All right, and now to just top everything off, I'm gonna just go in with the last couple of Chantecaille products that I have here in front of me, and then that'll be the look, okay? So this is the Lotus Perfect Blur Powder, which I did tell Keisha I recommended using her flat top Sonia G brush for. But because I don't have that one right now in front of me, I will grab the other ones that I would use with this powder. So if I were looking for a Tanseido brush to use for this step, I would use this one, which is a tea dyed goat hair one. And I think this is their Saikoho. Or I would use even this one, the Beautylish Yano Series 2. This one would be good for that step. Or this one, which I also just recently picked up on the Fude Bobo website. But I'm not sure if these are still available. So because of that, I'll just go ahead and stick to Tanseido here. Thank you so much, Kat. It's stunning. You'll like it. Maybe I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'll do a little bit of this like green shadow for work tomorrow because I was considering wearing like a green blazer. But I don't know. This is kind of a lot for my everyday looks that I wear to work. So I'm just using this as a finishing powder, and it just kind of gives like a really pretty, perfected, ethereal blur. So it's comparable to Hourglass, but I would say a little bit more subtle. And even though there's like a slight, like I said, sheen, it still blurs. It's kind of incredible, this formula. I don't know how it works, but I still feel like just looking at myself in this camera, it made a difference. And then they have, and like I said, you can still get these on Beautylish, and I think these are limited editions, so get them while you can if you are interested, because you can get $20 back if you hit the 100 mark, which is not hard to do with Chantecaille, but worth it in my opinion. The only thing I think I'm missing, oh, to top it off, it's not at Beautylish, but the Victoria Beckham eyeliner I had here handy because I have it in the shade Olive. So I thought this would be perfect for this look. Shall we throw this in the waterline, the lower waterline? Wear it to work at St. Patrick's Day, says Peach, not every day. Okay, I might just do that. Ooh, y'all see that? Look at the difference. That just made such a big difference, or is it just me? I totally feel like that was the cherry on top of this look by putting this in the waterline. You're wearing this exact liner today, Keisha? Love that. By the way, my eye doctor told me not to put eyeliner in my waterline, but YOLO. So, again, y'all don't come to my channel for medical advice because you won't get it. But I can't imagine my life without being able to put eyeliner in my waterline. I don't know about y'all. And then we'll just top it off with this Chantecaille Lotus Radiance highlighter with our handy dandy Tanseido brush. And I would use either of these two for highlighter or even this one for highlighter. Depending, like if my highlighter is really pigmented, I would go for this squirrel one. If I want to really pick it up out of the pan because it's a baked gelée like this one, I'll go in with the tea dyed one because it gives it more body. Or I would just go with this Psycho one too. But because, like I said, it's baked, that's where I appreciate this tea dyed one because it's just a little bit more resilient. So it can pick up baked gelée formulas easier. And it's still small, so it just fits right there where you want it, right on that cheekbone. And it keeps it right in that concentrated area. So this is how I can tell the CO2 Cool Peel laser is already working on my melasma and my hyperpigmentation, y'all, because anytime I do my makeup, just like I went ahead and did it today, I didn't do anything different today, but I would always go in with my Curado brush, which I use for pinpoint concealing, and my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Ginger. I know Keisha's also a fan of this concealer, and I always feel the need to go back in and hide the melasma that reappears. But look, right now it's already covered. So that's how I knew that this just barely the first session of the Cool Peel is already working, enlightening my melasma, because I didn't even feel the need to retouch this time. But that's the look, y'all. I think an infection. What are you talking about? Green that sucker up. That's funny. Kat isn't pushing me to wear green eyeshadow tomorrow. Beautylish released the Kyoto Year of the Snake brush, but I don't know if it's still in stock. Oh, Beautylish released this one too? Wow. Yeah, it's the Year of the Snake one. Dang. Okay. Well, if this one's still in stock, Keisha's telling us you can get it at Beautylish. Love that. I think he stopped taking medical advice from you the second your strategy was revealed to be confusing your Botox injectors. Exactly. I'm like seriously like hoping that he didn't forget this side, because this side is tender, but not this one. Let's pray. Or otherwise you're going to see me and I'm going to be like, I can't even do it right now. I was trying to like only raise this brow. Yeah, well, he said that we have like water glands right there. Hence like how we tear, I guess. I think. So you're blocking them. You're like clogging them by putting eyeliner in there. So what it could become is like you know, I forget how it's like blasiferous or something, where you can get like what are they, like cysts? Little, I don't even know if I'm using the right verbiage, y'all. But like if you've ever had like an eyesore and it's like red and you can just feel it irritated, you just raise your chances of, I guess, getting those if you water your line your water line. But I'm doing it anyway because, like I said, beauty is pain. Exactly. Okay. Well, that's the look. What do we think? I hope I didn't disappoint with the green shadow. If you all want to see my outfit real quick, I am just going to throw this jean jacket on. And I usually am not a jean on jean person, but I don't know why something got into me today. And I'm just going to throw on my Jenny Kane shoes, which are my black shoes to go with the black belt. I've raved about my Jenny Kane shoes that I love so much. I brought out my green perfumes for y'all. These are all my green perfumes that I have. So we have Father Figure and Mood Ring by Fleur. This one's my Armani, or what is this? Yeah, Acqua di Gioia, however you say that, by Armani. It's just a really fresh scent. And then, of course, the Valentino green one. So I did spray on Father Figure earlier, so I guess we'll stick to Father Figure for the green vibes. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the compliments, y'all. Okay. I must be the most glamorous one at church. Aw, Stacy, you're so sweet. Oh, you had some of your waterline removed when you were 3? Interesting. Those are some great perfume. The Valentino is your favorite. I know you're a fan of this one, Sylvia. I saw your Instagram post on it, so I think of you every time I wear it. Layer the fragrances. Don't be shy. All right, let's layer. I'll use the Mood Ring too. This one smells like gummy bears. On a recent live, I used the green Valentino one, so I'm switching it up. And I often use this one as my church perfume because it's just fresh and clean. Just reminds me of like a spa day, or like when you're just like getting out of the shower and you just smell fresh. So this one is one that I feel like I can sit for an hour in next to people and not really offend anyone, if you know what I mean. But same with these Fleur ones. They're nice and light. So really any of these. Like one of the things growing up that my dad would say would be that he thought it was rude. It could be rude to wear too strong of a perfume because out of consideration for those around you. But I think it's rude to smell bad. So anyway, all right, I'm wrapping this up now, y'all. And now you'll think of me when you use it. Yeah, it'll be our bestie fragrance for sure. You already think of me when I pretty much have almost every single Valentino perfume because Valentino has such good fragrances and I just really love the packaging. So I love that. Okay. Oh, and by the way, they also just came out with like a new one. It's like hot pink, the Valentino fragrance. So I don't know. That one's on my Sephora wish list. We'll see if I end up pulling trigger, but I just love the packaging. Always gets me sucked in. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Bye, everyone. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Love you.